So, the general education courses that I teach currently are pre-calculus, calculus 1, calculus 2, that's math 1060, 1131, 1132. There are other general education courses that our department teaches, which is math 1030, which is a discrete math course, and 1070 and 1071, which are actually courses for business majors. Now, these satisfy the Q requirements that are associated with the general education. And when you think about Q requirements, you can think of any expanse of practical life that has any quantitative measure. For example, simple example, if you are going to graduate and you are going to now buy a car, you need to know as a student how much loan you can afford, how much interest you can pay, and what would be the monthly payment. These are life lessons. It's something that you can get out of a 1070 course. So, what would you think about in terms of a general education is really how you are shaping a student's uh, understanding of quantitative material in real life. I think math is a basic life skill. What we are trying to do is use that basic idea of what show instances in the real life situation where they see mathematics either implicitly or explicitly. So I think it is extremely critical that going forward in the 21st century, the foundational math that they learn in high school has to show an application, and that application is showed in the first year where they're taking these general education Q requirement courses. I think that any student who is finishing a 4 year degree should have the knowledge of what education is at the end of 4 years. They will major in some of the disciplines. For example, an engineer would become an engineering major would get an engineering degree, a math major would get a math degree, a chemistry major gets a chemistry degree. But to have the understanding of what happens in the overall lifespan of a student, that they can take it to the real life examples when they are outside of the school, what they learned in sociology, what they learned in philosophy, what they learned in English literature, how they can see that, and how they can absorb things. Today's world, you can see how things work in politics, in industry. You need to understand various aspects of life. I think general education does that. It allows the students to get exposed to philosophy. What did Aristotle say? Or what are the thinkers of this world in the past have said? What is going on in politics today? How does that relate to us as students, as instructors? How can you think about what you are going to be in this world? You are in a protected cocoon when you are in the university. You're going to become a free flowing person, and you need to have the tools to handle things that life presents to you. Whether, even a simple thing as being an engineer and being in a lab would mean that you're going to interact with other people. Do you understand cultural diversity? Do you understand the importance of communication? All these things, I think the general education courses builds up a good foundation for the students to be able to think about those things. So I think that's a very critical component. I mean, yes, as things have gone, so like for example, maybe certain things that were in communication 25 years back may not be the same now because the mode of communication has changed. It's all become a digital age. People communicate differently. But do they communicate different feelings? Do they communicate? Has the society changed so much that when you laugh, it is construed that you're crying, or when you cry, is it construed as you're laughing? No. So which means there is certain basic elements that are the same. But I think that's what the general education curriculum does or has the potential to do. Life, you see this on the billboard, life happens. I mean, what does that happens mean? And how do you tackle what happens? I think the general education curriculum is a medium where it prepares the students to face life. or to understand it and be able to do something about what situations arise from that. But if you don't have that, I mean, those are life skills. Like teaching a 3 or 4 year old learning to swim, swimming is a life lesson. And I feel like, okay, yeah, you gotta, it's, that's the kind of thing. So general education is that cord, if you will, that is necessary, because once you, they're out of the education system, 4 year education system, that cord is cut. And it's cut exactly in the same way as when a child is born. It's done. Now the child has to figure out